Welcome back to a new episode of Vienna Showcase. This edition takes you to the MAK, Vienna's Museum of Applied Arts, one of the most exciting design museums in the world, which welcomes a new General Director, Lilli Hollein. Design in Vienna has a long tradition. The visionary masterpieces of the Wiener Werkstätte stood for new perspectives in design. The innovative spirit of those days lives on today in Vienna, where unique things are still being created. These creative elements begin when people can come together and where their ideas and visions can flourish. They start in our cities. We decided to show this new edition of Vienna Showcase at hybrid events in 5 European cities. The world has been torn apart for a year and a half. Now it's time to come together again. So experience this Vienna Showcase together with colleagues in Zurich, Paris, Madrid, Milan and London. Enjoy this insight into the MAK and let's celebrate Vienna.
Hello everyone, and thank you so much for joining us for this special edition of Vienna Showcase here from the MAK Museum in Vienna, Vienna's Museum of Applied Arts. As Norbert just said, this is a special hybrid episode, but we had originally planned to be live with you today, which we cannot be for reasons of COVID and health safety concerns. We're still here with you. We've still found a way to be able to do this, and so we are staying healthy and safe here. Hope you are there as well, and thank you for joining us regardless. My name is Adia, and it is my honor to be here as your host and a kind of temporary companion through this special episode that we've got planned for you. As Norbert just said, this is a hybrid episode, and what that means is we've got 5 different cities that are all connected to have this experience together. Right now, I'm standing with Lilli Hollein, a longtime esteemed curator and also the newly appointed General Director of the MAK. Thank you.
Hello to Zurich, Paris, London, Madrid and Milan. Happy to welcome you at the MAK. We are standing in the main columned hall of this beautiful, a little more than 150-year-old building. The museum is the 2nd oldest museum of its kind in the world, something that we are very proud of. But it has always been a museum with an exemplary collection showing by examples on how you can achieve progress and innovation and visionaries.
Yeah. It's nice that you use the word visionary, actually, because a lot of what we're doing, not only in celebrating the arts, but is really looking at visionaries in applied arts and industrial design. And so, since you were the new director, and a lot of this is about your vision for how you want to lead the museum going forward, maybe you can tell us what to you makes something visionary, whether it's a piece of art or a person.
I would love to also show you, not only tell you, and we do have a couple of female visionaries in our collection too, and we're going to look at some of these now.
Let's do it.
So Gustav Klimt was actually under this roof, and it was hosting the Kunstgewerbeschule. The 2 floors above us were...
So he studied here as well?
Yes, okay. Together with his brother. And I mean, of course, Vienna and Gustav Klimt is a strong relationship. So we have the beautiful sketches of the Stocklet frieze that you see here, the Golden Knight. And
what was, I mean, I guess for maybe our viewers who aren't familiar with Palais Stocklet and with Stocklet friezes, this is quite amazing, and you can't really see, but there's all these pencil markings.
Because it is the sketch for a mosaic that was established at the Palais Stocklet in Brussels, in the dining room. And we have these enormously beautiful sketches, and I think that that you see the lines and the pencil writing. The squares,
I get it now. Yeah,
it sort of brings it to life, and the tree of life is brought to life, and then we have the expectation, and then of course the fulfillment that reminds of as very much of the famous Der Kuss by Klimt. So it's beautiful to host these sketches there that also tell so much about this idea of the Gesamtkunstwerk that has been established at the Palais Stocklet so much, together with the Wiener Werkstätte.
It's amazing, actually, because it makes it much more intimate somehow to see it this way, not just this huge sort of palette, but all of the sketches, the notes, everything.
And to dive into the details.
Yeah, the thought behind it.
But something that is also very much about details and Wiener Werkstätte is this cupboard by Rose Krenn. She was one of the rare female artists of the Wiener Werkstätte, because many women at the time weren't even allowed to study. At the Kunstgewerbeschule they were. And the Wiener so Rose Krenn designed this beautiful cupboard with this intarsi work.
Could you imagine even not being able, not even as women being allowed to study, but to not have that leisure, but still to be able to create such detailed and amazing work without that, just out of your own imagination, which is what did. But you said a lot of your focus, your curatorial focus, and also coming into the museum is sort of to highlight the previously unspoken or unseen voices of like female artists and also women within Wiener Werkstätte.
I think there are stories that still can be told and haven't been told in the past decades, and works like this, but we will see some more very progressive female works in the next room of our Vienna 1900 collection here.
Everything is so beautiful here.
So this is Dagobert Peche, and he's actually one of my superheroes. This is so amazing. But let's look at Gudrun Baudisch. She was a ceramist of the Wiener Werkstätte, and but I mean, to be true, it's more like a sculpture, and this is what she saw that it is, and it was very much about the way she wanted to show women of that time.
Yeah, you can see that even the way that the body's handled and somehow her expression, that it's a different viewpoint than you're normally used to, especially in that era, seeing of women in image, not even in images, but in paintings, in this idealized version. And this has an honesty and an emotional honesty to it.
Yeah, and it's also it shows a very progressive type of female. Yeah. So the short hair. Many of them were smoking and also designing smoking items, because this was a part of being progressive, very much to the contrary today.
Totally. And it's so like it isn't a sexualized idea of the female body. That's, you don't come to this and think, oh, you're almost, for me at least, you see that strength, the different way of, it's just a person somehow.
Yeah, but a very self-confident one. So I think this is breaking the path for the women of the Wiener Werkstätte, that they were a strong group, also connecting with each other, showing a new type of woman. Yeah. And we have a very interesting female architect in our collection that really did a lot for women in many senses. It's Margarete Schütte-Lihotzky. She designed this beautiful room that contains almost everything that you might need: the vanity, the bed, the desk. We have this beautiful replica of the painting by Lorenzo Lotto. And actually, Margarete Schütte-Lihotzky had a big exhibition in the 90s at the MAK, at the Museum of Applied Arts. And while she was installing this room at that time here, she would also use the bed. So we see this room that she designed for a woman and that she, installed herself at the museum, where we also host the Frankfurter Kitchen, Frankfurter Küche, which is a really progressive piece of architecture, as being super practical and helping women in their then only female workers were like working in the kitchen in their everyday life. So this is can be seen at the Frankfurter Küche, which is integrated in the MAK Design Lab. And at the MAK Design Lab, we throw a very contemporary view on design and what design can be as a tool for society, how much design contributes to innovation and to progress and to all the questions that we have to ask ourselves in our time. How can we lead a more sustainable lifestyle? What is our lifestyle of abundance doing to our planet? So these are questions that we are asking at the MAK Design Lab, as you can see. And on the other hand, we do temporary exhibitions all the time, and I'll be happy to show you the one by Marko Anastasiadis.
It's actually really amazing because I realized in walking through this space just how much men were responsible for all the spaces for so long that we live in and work in, even spaces that they weren't really dealing with. And so to see, like you just said, women start to take over the responsibility or start to even have like input in the responsibility of design for the spaces that they were intimately aware of is such a huge, actually, step, I suppose, in the evolution of industrial design.
And in the evolution of a museum as the first female director after 150 years.
This is what makes it more sense. See, exactly. I'm going to give you a pound for this. Thank you.
But we still show exhibitions about men, and we see one.
That's true. Now on to Hoffman. Thank you.
As we have just been talking about design as a tool for society, we have currently on display this amazing toolbox that comes from the Wiener Werkstätte, and it's a loan from a private collection that we're showing here. But,
it's amazing to come here because you step up here and immediately, at first, you recognize all the shapes. You think, okay, we're looking at more antique applied design, but then you take another look at it and it's clearly so contemporary and you don't really know what epoch or what era of design we're looking at. This is beautiful.
Well, we have lots of Hoffmann and Wiener Werkstätte, but obviously we do have Marko Anastasiadis, which is one of the maybe most famous contemporary designers based in London.
And he was invited to sort of just interact with the collection, or?
Yeah, absolutely. And I mean, Marko is someone who has a very sharp vision on the Wiener Werkstätte and has been sort of dealing with the topic for quite some time. And I think this causes this certain light-footedness that he deals with it.
Because he's not sort of, even knowing it, it doesn't seem as though he was held to sort of the tradition and all of the sort of visual tradition that we have. He was able to make this space look completely new, which is something that's really difficult to do when you do have so many like recognizable, like this Hoffmann piece, you know, this is so recognizable of his form.
But this is true to so many pieces that they are so modern on one hand. So yeah, it's hard to decipher the Marko Anastasiadis from the Joseph Hoffmann pieces. Although, I mean, when it comes to squares,
then we know
it's most of the cases it's a Hoffmann. But I mean, such a beautiful collection.
Yeah, these are some of my most favorite pieces, and to see. But yeah, once again, the way that it's been put together is so seamless. You don't feel like there is a fight between the contemporary and the old. You don't feel like, how do these two times come together? It actually feels quite peaceful.
Yeah, but the golden spheres underneath the chair, they really do something to the object, but in a very respectful way.
In a very subtle way. You almost, it makes you need to come back to look at it a few times to see where one thing ends and one begins, because even like the golden balls, it would be so easy to forget about that or to not notice it and be just still taking in the entire scene. It's like set design, actually. It's beautiful, this dress.
It is set design, and what I really like about Marko Anastasiadis' way of interfering is like he put these mirror surfaces on the back of the cabinets and on the top of the table, and that totally changes the impression of the whole thing. And then of course we have also beautiful garments and
it feels intimate somehow. Also, so even this idea of set design, you have a feeling, or I have a feeling, that I'm really in someone's home. I'm seeing a part of something that I'm not supposed to see, which obviously with applied arts, that is the thing. It is the design that's the most intimate to us. But then you're in this place that's a museum, but at the same time you feel like, oh, I'm just looking in someone's garderobe, or I'm seeing how someone's getting dressed, or what their living room is like.
Yeah, well, absolutely. And I mean, being home, I'm afraid, is a little bit of the topic at the moment, that we are back home. But we have this show coming up that we are opening, hopefully, on December 14th. But the catalog is finished. We have a catalog in English and German. So while we are sitting at home, I can do a little reading.
Domestic beauty. Thank you so much for this. Thank you so much for giving us this look, giving us your insights, kind of and a different way to sort of appreciate and to look at and to dissect such a well-known and important era and time of art. I can't thank you enough for being here. As far as the episode, that is everything. Thank you so much for joining us. My name is Adia. Once again, servus, love, and hello from Vienna. Stay safe and stay healthy.